All right, welcome to the Explainer. We've all been there, right? You're facing a tough call, the stakes are high, and you know whatever you decide, you're going to have to defend it. Today, we're digging into a method that's not just about getting an answer, it's about building a decision you can truly stand behind.
So, what do? It's that classic dilemma, isn't it? Your gut, backed by years of experience, is screaming one thing, but the data, the spreadsheet, is pointing somewhere else entirely. Do you trust your gut, or do you trust the data? This single question is right at the heart of so many of our biggest decisions.
You know, for the longest time, we've been told these are the only two options. It's like they're two opposing teams in a championship game, team gut versus team data. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? What if it's not a choice between them at all? Let's take a closer look at each one.
So first, let's talk about the gut. The Swedes have a great word for this, magkänsla, which literally means stomach feeling. Now, this isn't just some random hunch. It's your brain working like a supercomputer, spotting patterns based on everything you've ever experienced and delivering a conclusion in seconds. It can feel like magic, but, and this is a big but, it has a huge weakness, our own hidden biases.
Okay, and in the other corner, you've got the scientific model. This is your structured, evidence-based approach. The beauty of it? It's transparent. You can literally show your work, follow the logic from A to B. But here's the catch. A model can be totally inflexible, completely missing the little details, the specific context of your unique situation.
So you see the problem, right? If you rely on just one, you're taking a massive gamble. The gut is fast, it's brilliant, but it can be warped by bias. The model is clear, it's structured, but it can be blind to reality. Choosing one over the other means you're basically deciding to work with a huge blind spot.
But wait, things have gotten a lot more interesting recently. There's a new player on the field, the AI assistant. This thing can chew through data and spit out new perspectives like nothing we've ever seen. So, is this the answer? Is this the magic bullet that solves the whole gut versus data problem?
Whoa, hold on, not so fast. We have to be super clear about this right from the start. AI is a tool. It's an assistant, a fantastic sparring partner even, but it is not an all-knowing oracle. Any analysis that comes out of an AI has to be questioned, checked, and double-checked. Its job is to give you more to think about, not to do the thinking for you.
Okay, so if it's not gut versus data, and AI isn't some magic solution, where does that leave us? Well, that's where we get to the heart of this explainer. There is a method that stops trying to pick a winner and instead synthesizes the best parts of all three. And it's called the JKF synthesis method.
JKF? What's that stand for? It's Swedish for Jag kan förklara, and that translates to I can explain. And that's not just a name, it's the whole point, the entire promise. The goal here shifts from just getting an answer to getting an answer you can actually defend, a choice you can explain to anyone who asks with total confidence.
Probably the best way to think about this is that the JKF method creates a kind of super team for your decision-making. You're not benching any players. You're putting your gut feeling, a solid data model, and the AI assistant all on the same team working together. The magic word here is integration, not elimination.
Okay, so the theory sounds great, right? But how do you actually do it? What does it look like in the real world? Well, thankfully, it boils down to a pretty straightforward 4-step process.
And it's really elegant in its simplicity. Step 1, start with your gut. But don't just feel it, state it as a clear hypothesis. My intuition tells me X will happen. Step 2, deliberately bring in a formal model to challenge that hypothesis. This is your built-in bias check. Step 3, introduce the AI as your wildcard to shake things up and show you angles you didn't see. And then, the final crucial step, you bring it all together. You synthesize everything and find the strongest conclusion.
Now, a really cool tool for that final synthesis step is something called the 4-field matrix. Imagine it's a room where your gut feeling and the data model sit down at a table. Now, if they agree, great. You can move forward feeling pretty confident. But the most interesting part is when they disagree. That's not a problem. It's a signal. It's telling you to dig deeper, to question your gut, to check the model's assumptions, because that's where the real insight is hiding.
And this leads to what I think is the most profound idea in this whole thing. This method isn't just about finding the right answer. It's about a fundamental shift in your goal.
You're no longer just looking for an answer, you're looking for the best explanation. This whole approach is actually based on a logical principle called abduction. Now, I know that sounds super academic, but the idea behind it is incredibly simple and powerful. Instead of just picking an answer, abductive reasoning is all about finding the most plausible story, the hypothesis that best explains all the different pieces of evidence you have in front of you.
And when you look at it this way, you can see how the JKF method lines up perfectly. It's not just some clever framework, it's a practical way to do abductive reasoning. Your gut feeling? That's your initial observation. The model? That's your competing hypothesis. The AI? That's your tool for testing and comparing. And that final synthesis step, that is the search for the best explanation. It gives the whole thing a really solid intellectual backbone.
So let's bring it all home. The next time you're facing one of those big, tough decisions, remember that the choice between your gut and the data is a false one. The question isn't, what's the right answer? The real question is, what is the best explanation for everything I'm seeing? Because if you combine your experience with a solid model and a critically reviewed AI, you're not just going to make a better decision. You're going to earn the right to look anyone in the eye and say, with total conviction, I can explain.